So here we have Derek's brand new 2017 Anthem SX, Anthem Advanced SX. So we got the carbon frame here, got the new giant trunnion mount with 110, 130, and this RockShox pike up here. It's a nice little fork. Look at those. Look at those stanchions. Carbon bar comes spec'd out of box. These are aluminum wheels, and it is a 1x11 SRAM 1 drivetrain. Look at that. Love the narrow wide. Like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I love that. So a couple of changes they did to this bike this year that's a little bit different than last year is it's actually slacked out the head tube a bit more, added a bigger fork, and brought it a little bit more towards the trance sort of riding. So, you know, it sits back a little bit more. It's meant to get a little bit more aggressive than last year's Anthem SX. Comes spec'd with the SRAM Guide RS brake. See that right up in there? Guide RS. Spec'd with 180 rotors on these guide brakes. I believe this is the RockShox Super Deluxe. Get up in there. Don't have too much to say to this bike, but thought I'd give you guys a little look over it. It's a nice bike. I actually quite like the color. It's all matte. Got a nice shiny fork on there. Driven stem. So, set up tubeless. This bike comes in at 27 pounds, 4 ounces, with a cage on it. No pedals, but like, you know, it's not that much for pedals depending which pedals you're going with. Comes with the giant dropper post, and of course Giant's favorite little lever, which I wish they would change. Knobby nicks, front and back, 2.35 on the front and 2.25 on the back, I believe. Yeah, 2.25 on the back there. Some straight pull spokes, like look at these guys here. When we get some nicer weather, Derek and I will go out on these bikes. He'll go on his Anthem and I'll go out on my Trance. And we'll give you guys some reviews. Ooh, something I do like the Giant did this year that's a little bit different than last year. These grips are quite nice. They're quite soft. They're half lock-on. Actually, no, sorry, they are full lock-on. Nice little cutouts in the stem up here. You know, just nice little touches. Nice little touches. Yeah, so 68.5 degree was last year's Anthem SX head tube angle. Now it is 67.5. So 1 degree gets a little bit more slack. Gets a little bit more aggressive terrain that you can, you know, tackle on it.
And the Trance is a 67.
And the Trance is a 67, so gives you kind of an idea of where they're headed with this bike. I know most Giants that were coming out this year are a little bit larger, a little bit longer. Not by all that much though. I think it was like what, like half an inch, about half an inch bigger than last year's model. This is a large, so it is a little bit bigger than Derek's last year large, but not by all that much. I don't think you notice it really, do you?
Not really enough to notice.
No. Yeah, like I've been saying, it is winter. We can only really ride around here, which doesn't give us all that much space, so. Hop's real good. It's got a nice little short back end. That's another thing I forgot to mention. They actually, on the Trance and this one, they did shorten the rear end a little bit. So they shortened the rear end and they made the front a little bit longer, just to sit you back a little bit more than it would have been last year. And the slacker a bike, the more you're sitting back, the steeper terrain you can go on and not feel super squirrely.
As well as the climb, the weight's more over the axle.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and as well for climbing. This, unlike the Trance, is meant to climb a little bit better. even though the Trance can climb as much as you want to climb. I mean, it's up to you, right? Push yourself. But, as I was saying, because it's got the shorter back end, when you're on the seat, or saddle, whatever you call it, you get a little bit more traction in the rear tire than you would if you were too far forward, where you'd be slipping and sliding all over the place. You don't want that. But, can't wait to get it on the trail, see how these bikes perform. One thing I forgot to mention is that they went from the traditional 15 mil through axle quick release that you screw in and then tighten to a straight Allen key through axle. So on this side you see there's some threads there. This side you have a 6 mil Allen key, which stiffens up everything. They also did that in the rear here as well. So a little bit of a downer, they have to use an Allen key to put your wheels on and off. It's not as quick, but it's a lot stiffer. So this bike isn't going to flex around as much. Same with the trunnion mount. They just made the rear end of this bike a lot stiffer. Carbon front triangle, aluminum rear. It's a gorgeous bike all around. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys.